morning. So good morning. Today we'll discuss about the problem on this. Where here, if you look at the diagram, so here, this shows a symbol of like this X. It means that it is a square. It is nothing but a square. It's not a round. It's not a round bar. So if it shows like this, then it is a square shape. It is a then this is a cylinder, that is because the axis is mentioned, and here is also a cylinder. So then how to find out this in order to make this material, in order to make this component, so he has given that estimate the cost of 1,000 pieces of material as shown in this. The following data is happening, and pricing cost is going to be 20 paise per square of surface area. Threading cost is 50 paise per foot of thread, and then cost of milling a square plug is 40 paise square centimeter of surface area. Annual cost is going to be per piece 12 rupees. Okay, so here we need to find out the what is the total cost of this making this component. Now we'll go by one. First, what are the first? And it is given, when it is given, it is a square rod only. I mean, only. So we go for turn facing charges. First is going to be turning and facing charges. We need to find out turning and facing charges. So here, if I take this where turn area of the portion threading is done is pi surface area we are going to get pi d into h. So if you take the h, that is this much, we need to take threading here. This much threading portion is going to be this much. Threading portion is this one. So area 1, that is pi into diameter is going to be 1 point. So it is all in dimensions are in mm. So I'll convert into centimeter, that is 1 centimeter, then into 5. So together I'll be getting 23.56 centimeter square. This is the area, first area. So for threading, and also this is the collar, which is called as collar. This portion also we have to go for turning. So how much area we are going to turn? So turning area of collar is taken as A2. That is pi into diameter is 25 mm. So it is 2.5 centimeter into length is going to be 20. So pi dh. So together I'll be getting 15.7 centimeter square. So now total facing area. So facing we need to do after turning, we have to go for facing area. So what is the total facing area is? So here we are going to do this facing area here and then here. So facing area is equal to, that is I'll take it as A3, which is equal to pi d square by 4, that is pi 1.5 square. So pi into 1.5 square by 4 plus then pi into, so here the facing is reduced from 25 to 15, so 25 to 15, so will be taken as pi into 2.5 square minus 1 square divided by 4, which I'm going to get 4.91 centimeter square. So now, so these are the three areas we have found out. Now total area of facing and turning, total area of facing and turning, which you can take it as A1 plus A2 plus A3, A1 plus A2 plus A3. So which is 23.56 plus 15.7 plus 4.91. So this I'll be taking as, if I sum it up all, I'm going to get 44.17 centimeter square. So then what is the cost of? So I'll take it as cost of C1 is equal to cost of making this, I mean, doing this operations, that is turning and facing. So operating, that is turning and facing, is equal to 44.17 into 20 into 20. So put together, I'll be getting around 883.4 paise, which is in terms of rupees, I can take it as 8 rupees 834 paise. So this is for cost of making turning and facing. This is for cost of turning and facing. Next is we'll find out the threading charges. Threading charges. So threading charges need to find out. So where the threading is going to be done, the threading charges. So we know directly that threading charges is 50 paise per centimeter or 0.5 rupee per centimeter length. So as we told that the threading length is 50 mm. Threading length is 50 mm or 5 centimeters. So cost of making threading for 5 centimeter threading, 5 centimeters threading. So 0.5 into 5, so it is going to be 0.25. So I'll be getting 0.25. So now milling charges. Now milling charges. Sorry, 2.5 here. It is 2.5 rupees. Milling charges. Okay, so milling charges is at rupees, I mean 40 paise. So I'll be taking as 0.4 per centimeter square area, right? So then where the milling is taken place here, that on the square head portion. So square head portions on the right side, we have the square head portion of like this. So where it is 20 by 20. So milling is done on this area. So the surface area we need to calculate here. So total surface area we'll be having here is 5. So milling charges, total surface area of this, total surface area of the, we can call it as it's a plug. So for 5 surfaces, because there is 4 lateral surfaces, so one is this side, one is this side. So totally 5 surfaces, So it is put together, I'm going to get, so for each surface it is 20 by 20, that is 2 into 2. So there are number of surfaces is 5. So I'll be getting 5 into 2 into 2. So it is 20 centimeters square. So cost, if I take is C3, cost of milling, which is equal to 20 centimeters square into 0.4, which is 8 rupees, Now, one more cost we need to find out, that is material cost. Now I have calculated all the cost for each operation. So material cost per piece, we know that it is rupees 12 given. Then total cost of spindle is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3, and also material cost per piece. One piece is going to be, it is taken as C4. So plus C4. So for one piece, material cost is given as 12 rupees. And for all, these are all C1, C2, C3 talks about the operation cost, and C4 talks about the material cost. So total cost of the spindle is going to be, we need to add all this cost. So C1 is going to be 8.834 plus C2 is 2.5 rupees C3 is 8 rupees. Then 12 rupees is the C4. Now put together, total cost of the spindle is going to be rupees 31.3. Rupees 31.33. Okay. So now if you take, this is for one cost, one spindle cost, So total cost of the spindle means one spindle cost is going to be this much. So I have to make 1,000 pieces. So I have to make 1,000 pieces. So cost of 1,000 pieces is equal to rupees 31.33 into number of component will give the 31,330 rupees. So this is the cost of 1,000 pieces. So next we'll go to the next topic, that is idling time. Yeah. Idling time. So how about idling time means idling time which will be taken as sitting idle. Sitting idle, it may be a labor or it may be a machine. It can be referred to anything. So idling time, in general in industry, it is usually with respect to the machines as well as workers. Means machines can be sitting idle or workers may sit idle. Okay, so this is the idling time. Idling time should be avoided or minimized. So we need to minimize the idling time. We need to minimize the idling time. So if we talk about idle time of machines, idle time of machines. So what is meant by idle time of machines? So the duration for which, so here the duration is nothing but the duration for which any machine, remains idle, means it is not working in, not in work or not doing any useful work, So the duration for which any machine remains idle is the machine idle time. We can say the machine idle time. So which is not used for any useful work, means this idle time is nothing but where we are not doing for any useful work. We are not doing for any useful work during this idle time of machine. So the duration for which any machine remains idle is the machine idle time, during which we are not used for any useful work. So there could be many reasons for this machine idleness. Okay, so it may be of breakdown or mechanical reasons. So you can say mechanical reasons in the sense a machine may remain idle because of power failure, accidents or breakdowns. These are the mechanical reasons. Mechanical reasons may be a breakdown of the machine, or maybe the accidents happen during the operation, or power failures. So during these times we cannot run the machine. So during breakdown time or during the power failures and all those, so these are all we can say mechanical reasons. So the machine will idle during this. And bad planning. So machines may remain idle due to bad planning also on the part of planning department or managers or who are going to plan. We are going to plan the how to carry out the work. So they are responsible for the machines not to keep the idle. So maybe the bad planning of managers also, it is one of the part where the machines is not doing any useful work and which remains idle. And lack of workforce. lack of workforce. So lack of workforce, where see, where the say for example we are running in 3 shifts, so you're having the only 2 shifts workforce, and one shift will kept idle. One shift will be kept idle. So that is how we are going to lose the machine hours. So we have to keep the machine idle. We have to keep the machine idle. So lack of workforce, and low demand for company products also. Sometimes low demand. So when there is no demand, we have to stop the production. We have to stop the production. So low demand for company products. So it may be of many reasons, but these are some of the reasons which I have mentioned here. So low demand for company products is so when you are not having the demand for your products, so you have to stop the production. So that during that time, so the machines will be kept idle. Machines kept idle. So that is what you can call as machine idling time. Machine idling time. So now, so if the organization is not able to sell its products well, the demand, if it is organization is not seeming to be, it is the products are not sold. Products are not sold. So the demand will the demand for that product will be very low. So when the demand is low, then the machinery, the machines. I mean, so we are going to stop the production. And also another reason for the demand to come down is probable seasonal nature of the product also. So if you are going to produce different products, so variety of products, so that products may be a seasonal products. So where during the seasonal time you'll be getting the high demand. So during that time, the products, I mean, the machines will be run. But if it is not in the seasons which are going to say, for example, your product is for winter season and the summer season is running, so you will be losing the you'll be losing the demand for the product. So we cannot run the machine. So during that time, so we have to stop the machine. So that is what you can say machine idling time. So it may be of many reasons for the low demand for the company products. And the worker idle time. So machine idle time is nothing but, which we have discussed, is it is nothing but we can keep the machine, and it maybe refers to the as we told that the machines are workers, and it is should be avoided. It should be avoided, and it is very it brings a lot of disadvantage to the organization as well. So the duration for which it may be a machine or worker which keeps idle, that is called as idling time. So now worker idling time. So what is meant by worker idling? So worker, it may be, of course, here we can say the laborers. We can say labor. If the worker who are mean to work on a particular machine, say the person who is working on the machine, the person who is working on particular machine is absent, say for example is absent, so the machine will kept idle. So for some reason, so we can maybe strikes also one of the reasons, so that the laborers cannot work on the machines. So during the strikes they will not work on the machines. So strikes also one of the reasons, or reasons due to maybe accidents happen. Say for example accident happen, so that person cannot work on the machines, or it may be laziness, All these reasons may result in worker idle time. So similarly, there will be some of the mechanical reasons, and there will be some of the mechanical reasons. See, which is, if it is mechanical reason, say for example power failure. So power failure, because of power failure, the labor forcibly made them to be idle, because during the power failure we cannot run the machine, without power. So you labor working forcibly made idle because of this mechanical reason. Maybe it may be a power failure, or it may be accidents, as we discussed in the machine idle time. So during this time the laborers are forcibly made to sit idle because of these reasons. So they cannot work on the machines without power. Without power. Next is supervisory. Next reasons are supervisory. So in this, due to poor supervision, so the supervisor is not supervising these own workers. It may be, it result in wastage of so much of time. So due to poor supervision, workers may sometimes waste their time either waiting to receive the instructions from the supervisor or waiting for the semi-finished product to come to his machine. So it may be of any of that. It may be of any of that due to fluctuating power conditions. So there are due to fluctuating power conditions. So we cannot run the machine. Fluctuating power conditions. Also when the supervisor is not, going around in the shop floor, is not moving around in the shop floor or roaming around in the shop floor. The supervisor is sitting in his own seat, and then the workers' tendency is they are going to waste their time simply just gossiping. Okay, and are they're just moving from here then there. So as there is no supervisor to monitor them, so then that is also one of the reason where the workers keep idle. So if the person is the superior or boss is roaming around, so the workers will focus on the work, and then they'll keep working on the machines. Otherwise the workers will be chit chatting, or they will be wasting the time. So that is what we can say workers idle time. So this is the concept of idle time in any particular organization. Any idle time is referred to the machines as well as workers. And we have mentioned here the what are the reasons for machine idle time, and as well as what are the reasons for worker idle time. So these are the two things which we have discussed. Now the cost of, depreciation concept we are going to discuss here. So depreciation we'll discuss in the next class. Today we are going to stop here.